I don't
Hey, great to,
I talked to Larry today and he was in the middle of physical therapy.
Oh,
right.
He
Right.
sounded terrific.
Yeah, I talked to him today too.
He won't be
Yeah.
on.
I didn't know if he was gonna attend or not, but he confirmed that he just wasn't feeling up to it yet. So
Right,
I'm
yeah,
just glad surgery went well.
Yeah.
all right. And I think we've got Dan joining us now.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, is Kevin out there too?
This meeting is being recorded.
Yep.
Kevin,
yep.
IT?
From
Yes.
IT.
Oh, okay, Kevin, hey, I just want to thank you very much for everything you've done for all these meetings, Kevin. So thanks for your contribution enabling us to have these board meetings.
Not a
You've
problem.
been a
Yes,
great help.
thank you, Kevin. Will this be on YouTube also?
Yep.
Okay, so then if you remember at your leisure, text me the link.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
We've got
The
everybody. We can probably start.
With a 411, doesn't he have to put his microphone on? It looks like it. He's got a phone with a line across it.
Who is that?
That's Richard.
That's Richard.
Richard.
Okay.
He might have to, oh, there it goes.
There he goes.
Okay, are we ready to go?
Hey, Randy,
Yeah.
I'm going to hang up my phone now and try and talk through just the computer, okay? If you lose me, can you call me back?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to try hanging up now. See if I just talk.
Yeah, if we lose you and you can't hear us, then call back in.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Kevin could probably request him to turn on his video. He probably doesn't realize he needs to turn on video.
Yeah, there's a couple buttons he's got to press.
Yeah, but just push for Dan. Dan, you might in the bottom too have to select what input device for your audio, or if you try speaking now, we should be able to hear you on your computer if you unmute on your computer. Otherwise, you might have to call in if we don't hear you.
Yeah, Dan, you might want to keep your phone on for the meeting.
I think if he calls in, Kevin, can't you switch to phone audio so his phone would match up with his?
He would have to do that. So he'd have to hit the up arrow by the microphone and then hit switch to phone audio. Yeah, we can't do that on the back end.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can walk him through that because otherwise I thought I heard some reverb coming from him.
Yeah, because he had the computer speakers playing and his
phone going.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, if you can hear me, just call in with your phone and we could just do it with the phone. And then after the meeting, we'll try to make sure you're up and running so that for any future meetings, we'll make sure you have the visual and the voice at the end of the meeting. Let me try giving Dan a call in case he can't hear us here. Sorry for the delay, everybody here.
Well, if we had some candy to get us by.
Now you're talking, Pete. Now you're
All
talking.
right, I'll run into your houses.
All right, looks like you might be calling in now. I have a number
right.
752.
All right. All right, he's calling in. Yeah, that's it. Dan, are you there?
Hello.
Dan, yeah, just stay on the voice. What we'll do is we'll try to work with you after the meeting. And then
Okay.
make
Thank
sure
you.
that visual and that you're working through your computer. We can try it, see if we can get you up and running. Otherwise, the phone will work. All right. Okay, we're going to start the meeting. This meeting is called to order. Secretary, please call roll.
Odette. Absent. Jakubczyk.
Present.
Henny.
Here.
Yerke.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Wagner.
Here.
Gregoric.
Here. Okay, now with Larry not here, I believe Tal, your first alternate, you're going to be able to officially vote because we got Stacy, we've got Richard. Richard's out there, right? Richard?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, we got Richard, Stacy, and we have myself, and then you would be the next one, Tal. Okay, and Pete, you're second alternate. So, I mean, you know how it's
Yep.
handled.
No
With the
worries.
contribution and everything. I guess you just won't be able to do the final vote then for when we're doing the
No
vice
motion from me.
Okay. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the meeting dated October 19th, 2020. The appellant was Thomas Goodman for property at 3442 East Oak Lane in Oak Creek. Tax key number 9190028-000, and that's case 20-0004. So did everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
This is Richard. I make a motion to approve the minutes as published.
Okay. Well, we got a first by Richard. Do we got a second?
Second by Stacy.
Okay, second by Stacy. Secretary, please call roll.
Jakubczyk.
Aye.
Henny.
Aye.
Yerke.
Aye.
Kane.
Aye.
Gregoric.
Aye. Okay, next order of business is for the Board of Zoning Appeals. The annual meeting is to elect a new vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Stacy.
Stacy?
I respectfully decline.
Okay. Dan,
Yeah.
do you, is there any other nominations first?
I nominate Dan to hold his position.
Okay. Okay, Richard, thanks.
I'll
All right.
second that.
Okay, so there's no other nominations. We have Dan being nominated. We got a first by Richard, second by Stacy. Secretary, please call roll.
Jakubczyk.
I guess.
Henny. Henny.
Aye.
Yerke.
Aye.
Kane.
Aye.
Gregoric.
Aye. Dan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay, Dan.
Yay.
All
You
right.
do such a good job, Dan. Keep it up.
I'm still learning.
All right, so then now the next order of business is for the Board of Zoning Appeals to review any rules and procedures, anything that we have questions on, anybody have questions on, or anything that was handled during the meetings that you had questions about in past meetings that weren't brought up, that you would like further clarification? Tal, is there anything, I mean, you've become pretty familiar now with the process of the board. How do you like being on the board? And also, are you feel pretty comfortable with participating in that?
Yeah, I mean, it gets better every meeting that we have, and I think the experience that I'm learning from you guys, it's pretty invaluable, especially because I do kind of want to. I just finished my first semester of law school, by the way, and I do want to. Yeah, very proud of that. Very happy about that, and I do kind of want to go into like real estate law eventually. So, might be something I want to go into later on, and I think this really helps. Kind of get my foot in the door and learn a little bit more about it.
Well, that's fantastic.
Very good.
That is awesome.
Getting that first year in there. All
Getting
right. And then this is good. You've got some of the most seasoned veterans out here right now that have been part of it. Stacy and Peter, excellent team members to learn from. So it's
Are
great.
you calling us old?
And Rich,
Experience.
and Rich,
By saying seasoned, does that mean old?
no, I mean seasoned veterans, but that isn't a bad thing.
You know, I always tell people, they say you're old. I says, hey, it beats the alternative.
That's right, Dan. That is exactly right. It definitely beats the alternative. So we can't ask for a more seasoned and professional board. So I'm just glad that we've got such great members. So is there anything, Pete, you got anything to add at this point with anything that with the rules and procedures? You got anything to state?
As for how we operate the BOZA?
Yeah, anything is there anything that you'd like to add about it? Because usually, I mean, every time I've been through one of these meetings in the past with the prior chairs, they've really, they really didn't go over really anything in the annual meetings. I know we had a good meeting last year where Larry brought up some issues, concerns. So that was good that we were able to get further clarification on those items that he brought up. But, usually they haven't really gone into any procedure. I wasn't handed anything by the city clerk's office saying anything else to any new code issues or anything like that to bring up. So that's why it's just kind of open session. If there's any kind of information that you might have or anybody else might have, or any discussion points that you guys might have tonight.
I mean, as for our procedures, I mean, we have the script pretty much, has been the same. It's been revised a little bit over the years, but I don't see how we proceed differently through a review. I think we got that pretty well formulated. I don't think we've had any issues, that we haven't had anybody challenge any of our decisions based on procedures. So my thought is, don't fix what's not broke. And then the other part is for the zoning code, the city is still finishing up in 21, the zoning code update. I know they did the comp plan recently, and then the follow in the comp plan was going to be an update to the zoning code. So I would actually defer to Lori to give us a status update as to where we are in the zoning code and if we will ever get any sort of, like, I don't know, executive summary of the things that change radically from what the old code is. I guess that's what I would be interested in finding out.
Okay, excellent points, Pete. Lori, is there anything that you can add on the items that Pete brought up?
Sure. I know the zoning code update went to the Plan Commission recently. I haven't heard the results of it. I unfortunately wasn't there at the meeting. But I imagine we'll be able to get at least some kind of executive summary of all the changes. There are some kind of big changes, but most of it is still status quo. So I'm assuming we probably would have something like that too, no later than June. But let me check with Carrie Papelbon about that.
Okay.
She's leading that update.
Okay, great. Thank you for doing that, Lori.
Not a
then,
problem.
I know this is just something to bring up to you guys. I know Pete participates in this each year, but they do offer, they do have courses that they offer starting in January through May. They have segments that if you, and the city clerk does notify any, like there was like 4 or 5 participations where they go over stuff. So if you guys, that's something you can just call in from your house and then follow along as the presenters from Madison go through different issues like code and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, just let the city clerk know that you want to participate. And there's no charge for that. So it's just something that's it's just another additional educational tool for you.
That's Kathleen Reski, right?
Yeah, yes. So, so we could just, and then they notify you what dates, you just you can let me know, and if you guys want to attend, and I can get maybe a schedule, yeah, because I thought you might have received something like that. I thought that she would have sent that out to everybody.
Well, later this week, I got to go pay my property taxes, so I'll probably see if she's in and let her know.
Okay. Yeah, it's just.
Is the front counter open for that? I thought they closed down the front counter.
It's closed.
Oh, it is?
Closed?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just check. I'll call in with Catherine and see to make sure that everybody, just so that you guys get notified. And then if you want to attend, great. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half. Like I said, I know Pete participates in that with Caledonia. And it's just something, it's a good just update on stuff. And then you guys can just call in from home or from work if you're able to. Okay, and it's just a total of 4 to 5. Usually it's one per month. They had it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, Pete, you brought up some excellent points about. Oh, Stacy.
I just wanted to say I'd be interested because I've been furloughed since March, and another couple months I'm officially going to proclaim I'm retired.
Oh.
And so I would have time to look at that and see what they have to say.
Okay. All right. And congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Thanks.
That sounds great.
Well,
all right.
We're going to find out how much I like my husband.
All right. That's good. That's good. All right. So if there's nothing else to add or discuss.
Randy, I would just like to say, I want to thank you for a couple times this year. You kind of set me on the right path and say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I want to thank you for passing that along.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that with me, Dan. I appreciate it. I just wanted to help and just to make sure.
Well, I say I learned a lot by what you said. It's not how you say, not what you say, it's how you say it.
Labor.
All right. Well, thank you. So if there's nothing else to add, and with Lori getting us that information of the executive summary when things are finalized, et cetera, do we have a motion to adjourn the Board of Zoning Appeals annual meeting at this time?
I so move.
This is Richard, I second.
Okay, first by Stacy, second by Richard. Secretary, please call roll.
Jakubczyk,
Aye.
Henny,
Aye.
Yerke,
Aye.
Kane,
Aye.
Gregorek.
Aye. I declare this meeting closed. All right, now we move to the Board of Housing Appeals. Now, as long as I've been here, I've only attended one Board of Housing Appeals, and it was a meeting that I actually had to actually had to run as a vice chair at the time, and that was years ago. But we haven't had I can't think of except for that one meeting, we ever had a Board of Housing Appeals. And I think Stacy, with your experience, Larry's not here to give his input, but really there hasn't been.
I've been part of two.
A total of 2?
Yes.
All right. So,
And I've been doing this, oh gosh, 20 some years.
okay, there we go. We haven't had this come up.
Randy, should we do a roll call first?
Yeah, I was just, before I started the meeting, I was just bringing that up here.
Okay.
Okay, the meeting is called to order for the Board of Housing Appeals annual meeting. Secretary, please call roll.
Odette? Absent. Jakubczyk?
Present.
Henny?
Here,
Yerke?
Here,
King?
Here.
Wagner?
Here.
Gregoric?
Here. All right.
Thanks,
So, with these meetings, every year that I've been involved, the only major thing that we had to do was elect a vice chair for Board of Housing. And in terms of the review of the rules and procedures, they fall in line with what we do for Board of the Zoning Board. So it's right in line, the same kind of procedures, et cetera. So we follow the same kind of rules. So the item that we have to take care of is to nominate a vice chair. And I take it we're going to head in the direction of Dan.
Yep.
I nominate Dan.
All right.
I second, Richard, I second.
All right. And before we go with that, there's no other nominations, correct?
If someone else is interested, they certainly could speak up, but otherwise I'm happy with Dan.
Okay.
Oh, Stacy, if we ever get together on one-on-one, I'm going to have to pick your brain about the housing committee.
You may pick away.
All right. Well, then we have a nomination first by Stacy, second by Richard for Dan. Secretary, can you please call roll?
Jakubczyk?
Aye.
Henny?
Aye.
Yerke?
Aye.
King?
Aye.
Gregoric?
Aye. Well, congratulations, Dan. You're vice chair of the Board of Housing Appeals. How does it feel? So how do you feel, Dan?
I would like to, the next meeting, if Carrie can give me an invitation to join it, I'd like to join it, just to see what the ropes are.
Yeah. Well, the Board of Housing is we run it in the same manner as we do the Board of Zoning Appeals. So it's just that we haven't had any meetings come up.
The thing is, I'd like to go to the first meeting to get my feet wet, to know what's happening and find out who's on it.
Oh, well, you'll be there because it's the same board members that are on this.
Oh, is it okay?
Exact same board. So
Oh, okay.
You are blessed with all of us, Dan.
All right. Okay, is there, and like I mentioned, we handle the same rules and procedures for running the Board of Housing as we do for Board of Zoning Appeals. So there's nothing else to add at this time. We would just run it under stating the Board of Housing Appeals. So when we run it, but we'd run it in the same order, the same type of structure as we do with our other meetings. So, all right. So there's nothing else to add on this time for the Board of Housing. In case, Pete, you got anything to add? With your experience in Caledonia, is it pretty well handled the same way?
Yeah, well, no, it was a little bit differently. I actually modeled the way they run after how Oak Creek does it. In Caledonia, staff presented findings of fact for and findings of fact against an appellant's request. And I put a stop to that. I'm like, I'm not there to make the decisions for you, and you guys just basically agree with me for or against. That's not my job. I said, my job is I say no. And it's up to you guys to find findings of fact and then say yes if you can find a rationale or a hardship to grant the variance. I'm not going to feed it to you and tell you how to work around the code that I'm supposed to be enforcing. So
Right.
it was a little bit of shock for them because they liked having, the choice. If the appellant made a great argument for, they just looked into the report and went, hey, we're going to go right down this list that staff presented and go with it. And if they didn't like how it was presented, we're going to go against. And I'm like,
Oh,
that's not me. So they were a little taken off. I don't know how to describe it, but they're like, what do we do now? And I'm like, follow the script that, that basically Oak Creek follows. I didn't say it that way, but, and discuss, here are the criteria. What do you have? The applicant doesn't have anything outside of I have big toys and I need a big place to store them. That's not really a reason to get a variance. Oh, I hear myself talking.
yeah.
And but yeah, so actually I'm actually following more of how Oak Creek did it. Part of it is familiarity that I did it. I did it for 10 years or so. So kind of familiar with this, and I liked how it goes because, it really puts the decision-making on other residents in a community. It's not just staff telling you what's good and what's bad. So
Right.
I think the way Oak Creek does it, I like it a lot. I am biased because I was in that program, so to speak, for quite some time. But other than that, I have to show off my, just so you know, I'm in an 8th grade science classroom right now. And behind me is an O chemistry. It's a periodic table of all the elements, each leaf of the pine tree. So this is my wife's classroom.
I was going to ask you if you were in a classroom. I noticed that right off the bat. And I'm like, well, that's interesting home decor.
Yes, we are in the 8th grade classroom for Gifford Middle School. So
Nice.
Oh, that's neat. So how did you get, is your wife still there?
no, she's she's still remote teaching. So we fortunately have a space in our basement that is all set up for her. She has 2 monitors and everything, so she's good to go.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, so I totally took the group off topic and randomly just showed off a periodic Christmas tree. But otherwise, no. Gotta have a little fun on our annual meeting, right? We have no candy, Randy. Not to bring that up again for the 3rd time. There we go.
I have candy.
You do, huh? I should just go to the side of my screen and grab a piece. There we go. Virtual.
That we're officially back, I'll bring candy instead of just wait until year end. So if we're back up and running at City Oak Creek, we're back in the meeting room. I'll make sure I bring it to make up for it. So,
Thank you, Randy.
okay.
We will never bring it up again.
No, I will.
Maybe.
No, I will.
I did have a pretty good assortment last year, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Randy, you never disappoint.
All right. Well, Pete, thanks for sharing that with. It's good you were able to further educate them too on the different way to handle that. So that's good.
Well, just keep in mind they didn't do it. They didn't do it wrong. They followed all the state statutes and everything. It was just something that I felt was serving on a platter, yay or nay vote, and that would have come back to bite the village in the butt because, like, hey, where'd you get that answer from? Well, staff said so. Like, no. So what they did was fine. I mean, they did that for decades.
Yeah.
It just isn't the style that I prefer. I prefer to have the board members, seriously deliberate the merits of the request
Right.
and decide. I mean, as staff, we have to follow what the rules are. And, you know, we don't get to make the rules. We just enforce the rules and such. And it's up to this board for the city of Oak Creek to just determine when those rules are imposing on a person in an unfair way. And then we grant those variances. And I think it gives more value to the members actually contributing and not just reading off a piece of paper that someone else wrote and saying, okay, that's just my thought on the matter. And so I think this board is really good because there is a lot of good deliberation and discussion prior to granting it, just saying, no, I'll just let everybody do what they want. And, you know, since they asked, we'll give it to them. Well, this board doesn't do that. This board really does weigh the situation and whether or not a variance is warranted. And I like that about that. And that's why I wanted to join this committee after I served on it, you know, served for it as staff. So I like how we're orientated into what we do here.
Well, thanks, Pete. Yeah, I think I actually sat in on a meeting that involved boards from across the state, and just hearing how they were handling stuff and how we were handling stuff. It was good to know that we got a pretty well set procedure on how we handle it, and the participation by the board members with all the questions, and we really dig into it to make sure that we're doing a legitimate decision for both the appellant and the city to make sure we're handling it correctly. So I appreciate everybody's participation. Everybody's input is very valuable, and I know how detailed we've sat through some of these meetings where it was a huge discussion going on and going back and forth. So it's good that we cover all the points to make sure we are handling it correctly. So thank you for that additional input, Pete. Anything else that you guys would like to discuss before I end up adjourning the housing meeting?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So since we've covered everything that we need to for the Board of Housing Appeals meeting, I need a motion to close the meeting.
So move.
Okay, first by Richard. Do I have a
No,
second?
Dan.
Oh, so sorry. First by Dan. Tal, did you want to get a motion in here? Because you're officially able to do that motion. Get that one in.
Second.
All right. Okay, good. So we got a first by Dan, second.
Yeah.
All right. Secretary, please call roll.
Jakubczyk,
Aye.
Henny,
I.
Yerke,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Gregoric.
Aye. Okay, I officially declare this meeting closed for the Board of Housing Appeals. All right. Well,
Do we have anything coming up, Randy?